So on that vein, we talk a lot about corporate responsibility and engagement. So again, we've seen how cityCURRENT has evolved over the years, and I think we're at a really interesting inflection point with new people in the workforce, what consumers are looking for, what employees are looking for. You, I've always said, are the most connected guy that I know. So with all your experience and connection, what have you seen in regard to corporate engagement and responsibility?
No, I admit, like, I'm blessed in the sense that we have global leaders like Fred Smith and Richard Smith, and you look at the FedEx and the auto zones, and to be able to interact and see things through their perspective, but through people like Maura Forbes and Rich Karlgaard at Forbes. I mean, the relational element of seeing things through their vantage point. But the stuff that I write for Forbes is a great example where I have to step back and look at what's going on. Because if you're not stepping back and looking at what's going on, the big picture, you're going to get lost in the weeds and you're going to get run over. And in a world where disruption is the norm, and it happens every single day, almost every single minute, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, not just in your arena, but globally, it's going to be tough. And so for me, in this world of CSR, corporate philanthropy, philanthrocapitalism, all these buzzwords, social impact is now mandatory. And I think that's the biggest thing to understand, is that it's front page of USA Today. It's companies across America without social impact culture will soon be obsolete. So I mean, there's all these quotes that basically point to consumers are looking at corporate America. They're looking at businesses to be engaged. They are making their purchasing decisions based on it. 85% of millennials, and that number is only going up, are basing their purchasing decisions on the social good efforts companies are making. So the consumers are making it, and they want to see you physically involved, like on social media, but also the employees are driving that. And to your point, there's study after study after study where employees are willing to turn down higher paying jobs for ones with purpose. They don't want to go to work where you're spending the vast majority of your time to fatten the wallet of the owner. They want to feel like they're making a difference. And you can look all across America, and we've had all these different speakers who kind of talked on this. You used to talk about community at your dinner table. Well, now nobody's eating dinner together. We're all on our cell phones, or we're doing a million sports and activities. You used to get it at church, but now that's kind of breaking apart. So now employees are looking at corporations to say, I need you and I want you to teach me how to be involved in the community. But I also need you to give me the bandwidth. And so things like a modified work schedule where I can go and I can volunteer in the morning, and then I can come to work, or I can leave early, like at 3:30, 30 minutes of drive time, volunteer from 4 to 5 after school tutoring, and then I can leave at 5 like I normally would. So the key driver, though, is that consumers are driving it, employees are driving it, and I think all across the world we're looking for more purpose. And I would say this, especially like when I'm talking to groups, is I say that as a company is define your purpose. Like, you need to know, what do you stand for? Outside of what you do, what's your purpose? Companies like FedEx, AutoZone, they put it right out on their website. This is who we are, this is what we do, this is how we give, this is our philanthropic statement. So what's yours? But then what's yours as a person? What do you stand for? What's your purpose? And then what do you stand for as a family? Have that conversation with your kids. Have that conversation with your coworkers. You'll be surprised. Some of them have battled cancer, and their flag that they carry is for fighting cancer because of that. It opens up a wealth of just opportunities for you to learn about each other. But I feel like knowing your purpose is so important. And on my end, don't ever underestimate it, because now people are asking for that in your job interview. Not just, okay, you're great on paper, but what are you doing in the community? What do you stand for? The first time I met Fred Smith, he already knew what I was there to meet with him about. But he's like, what's your personal purpose?
Great question.
Right out of the gate, and you're just like, what? But I mean, I was prepared to answer that. Mm-hmm. Education. I'm serving on these boards that are focused on education, organizations like New Leaders. My wife is in education. We believe that the trajectory of lives can change through education. He's like, now we can talk.
So that was your connection.
You peel off those layers.
Right.
You want to know that the person you're talking to has layers, has depth, and has something to really talk about. And so understanding and owning your purpose is powerful. And so I think that's where, for me, that conversation always starts. And there's a million other things when trends, in terms of the one-for-one model and changing sustainability and the turnkey volunteerism. But I think the biggest one to understand is that social impact is now mandatory. And if you start looking at that purpose and then how do I carve out time and intentionality to get involved with my purpose, to live out my purpose, there are so many easy ways to do it. And that's where the real magic comes in, is you realize it doesn't have to be something that I just wait around for the weekends. I can do it with every single thing I do. I can live my purpose and create my legacy every single moment.
And that becomes your mission.
Yeah.
I think that's great wisdom. So you talk